You're all welcome once again. It is said that family is the basic unit in the society. It's also said that family is a group of persons united by the ties of marriage, blood, or adoption. I perceive that family ought to be a place where one finds refuge, where one finds a sense of stability, a sense of belonging, safety, and guidance. But sadly, reverse is the case today in our society. Looking at numerous stories that are devastating, terrible events happening in families across the world today, you will agree with me that indeed family has failed in upholding its primary responsibility or purpose. So I want to welcome you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whichever part of the world you might be streaming or watching from. My name is T Gold, and I want to welcome you to the first edition. This is the first edition of the program, Let's Talk with T Gold. On this program, it promised to be intriguing, interesting, educative, and impactful. We are believing God that through this program today, a lot of families that are broken are going to be restored, and relationship that has been broken is going to be restored through the help of God and through the information that will be dished out from the show today. I'm not alone on the show today. I'm joined by a very special personality. I'm joined by a man, a husband, a father, and a businessman. So join me as I welcome on the show Mr. Dandy Bila. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's been a privilege being on this show. Thank you so much.
Thanks you very much, sir.
Thank you, all our viewers. God bless you.
Okay. So I just want to take out this opportunity to really appreciate you for supporting this vision of mine.
It's a pleasure.
And I want to thank you for partaking in it, honoring this invitation. God bless you, sir.
You're most welcome.
So, sir, please, I know you personally, but there are a lot of people out there that don't know you. I would like you to please just give us an intro. Tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, you've already said all about me. My name is Dandy Olorundare Elebila, and like you have said, I'm a loving husband of one wife.
Wow, that's important. To one wife. One wife.
And I am a caring father of 4.
Wow.
And of course, I'm a businessman.
Thank you very much, sir, for that.
Thank you.
That's light, sir. Something came to my knowledge that you are into NGO. So can you please let us know a little about this NGO?
Yeah, I co-run an NGO by name the Loyal Magnificent Computer Club of Nigeria.
Okay.
A very good friend of mine had this vision of, giving back to the society, giving back to the fatherland. And the way things are in our country, it is obvious that things are not normal.
Sure.
And what you see every young person's, every Nigerian, almost every Nigerians do these days is complain about bad government, bad leaders. But on the other thought, this young man discovered that complaint can never solve any problem. So, and prayerfully God gave him this vision that you in your own bit, you can actually do something impactful, something more meaningful, something that is result oriented, rather than sit back and complain about bad governance. We have this understanding that it is not just the government that is bad. Of course, without people there is no government.
Yeah.
So it is people that is first bad. It is people that is of low moral standard that now reflect in our governance. So God gave him this vision to, sensitize and create awareness on where we the people have gotten it wrong with our values and morals. And he has been doing a whole lot. And when I saw the vision, I saw it as a privilege for me also to do my bit to see to the development of my fatherland. So we have to join forces together. And that is why we've been running for about 6 years now.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. And reflecting back on my introduction, I said that family ought, in my own perspective, I believe that family ought to be a place of refuge, a place of shield after being battered, being broken outside the society. It should be a place where we come back to and feel accepted and we are being encouraged. But sadly, reverse is the case today. We've heard so many ugly stories. God bless you as you stay tuned. Yes, sir. Let's have your take.
All right. Let me start with you asked what is a family?
Yes.
And I think you are very correct when you said a family is I will say, an integral unit of a society. The smallest unit of a society is families. And of course, when you say a family should be a place one should find refuge, yes, that is very correct. But one thing I will like us to also have at the back of our mind is that you can hardly find a family anywhere in the world without disputes, disagreement, dispute, and conflict. You can hardly find a family anywhere in the world. You will agree with me that even as a human, you to yourself, sometimes you get angry at what you do to yourself.
That's true.
Sometimes you will do some certain things and you get to realize that, why have I done this? And sometimes you get even to regret some of your personal actions and decisions. So it is even to families. There is no family that is prone to conflict. There is no family that is prone to disagreement. Now, what we should look at is the ability to manage issues that arise within families. If any prophet, anybody tells you that it is possible for family to live together without quarrel, without issues, that person must be deceiving you. But now, what we should emphasize more on is, how do we deal with these issues? Now, family is a place one should find refuge. That is excellent. But you should know as a member of a family that there are prices you must pay for you to be able to actually find refuge. In the real sense, you should know that it is not just something that comes on a platter of gold. No. So we must have this understanding. Of course, now when we talk about family, we are not looking at marriage, so to speak. We are looking at family, because before a man or a woman get married, he was also in a family.
Yes.
He was born into a family. Then he now grew up, desire to also be able to raise his own family. In the family where he or she was born into, there should be this understanding that there is a role I must play to ensure that this family find peace and unity. No matter how insignificant you think you might be in that family, you must understand the fact that there must be there are prices that you ought to pay. There are sacrifices you ought to pay in order to find peace right in that family. Now, if we now look at man and man coming together to raise their own family, that is also applicable. When you are coming together to raise family, we must understand the fact that there are prices we must pay. Even though you have high expectations, of course, nothing good comes easy. We should have that at the back of our mind. So be ready to shoulder those responsibilities. Be ready to pay the sacrifice needed for peace in such a family. I want us to note that one major causes of dispute or conflict in families are simply disagreement. What do I mean? When each member of this family has different conflict ideas, when you have beliefs, when you have opinions that are contrary to each other, those are the things that actually brings about conflict in family. There's something in particular you believe in. There's something in particular he believes in. There is something in particular she believes in. But these beliefs, these ideologies, clashes. Now, if it is not properly and well managed, it resolved in conflict. So we should understand that when you have a family, as a member of a family, you have your ideologies, you have your ideas, you have your opinions, and you have your belief. It might not be the same as the other members of the family. So when you are presenting your own ideology, you should have it at the back of your mind that it may be clashing with other people's ideology still within the same family. So you must be willing to shift base. You must be willing to also accept other people's belief and ideology. If you have refused to do that, then those are the things that gradually led into conflict, and it become deeper and deeper. But in summary, we should understand that conflicts happen when family members have different views or belief that clashes with one another, and it must be properly managed in order not to result into bigger issues.
Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful speech.
You're welcome. One important thing we should understand is that when it has to do with family, one have to be very careful. Now, there are members of a family.
Careful.
Yes, very careful. One have to be very careful. There are actually members of the family that you can decide to just have your space, and you might have not offended anyone. Sometimes even just take your space. To some extent, one have to just keep to your space. Keep distance. there are members of the family. It will get to a point, the best option you will have done to help the family is to keep your space, keep your distance. Now, but one thing we must understand is, when you are keeping your distance, you should have it at the back of your mind that there are several things, several efforts you need to make that regarding ways to resolve the conflict on ground. Because when it comes to family, you don't have another. They are the only, in fact, when it has to do with parents, your mom, your dad can be angry with you. But I tell you, no matter what they must have done to you, you don't have the right to keep them at heart. No matter what, no matter how heavy what they have done, as a child, you have to find a way. And do you know one thing?
Sorry, sir.
Parents, most times, parents always have this ego. Don't you know I'm your mother? Don't you know I'm your father? You have to do whatever it is I said. Now, those egos will always come around. Now, but when it comes around, all you need to do at that moment is please just calm down. Let's allow them listen to what they are saying, hear them, but give them a listening ear.
Even if it costs, sir.
If it will cost you. See, let me tell you one thing. Peace is always very expensive. It's costly. To make peace, in most especially in family. Now, one thing we should realize is that conflict doesn't just start overnight. It starts gradually from misunderstanding. As little as misunderstanding, this spoon is supposed to be here. Why is it here? It starts from little things. And if immediately it starts, if it is not properly and appropriately managed or taken care of, it can now begin to grow to other bigger issues. Now, but what I'm saying here is that when there is conflict already, you should know that there are prices you must pay for peace to reign in that kind of a family. So if even the parent did not realize, if they are still boasting with their ego that they are your parent, now listen to them, calm down, listen to their own point of view. Now, while you are calming down, the best you will do, you have to find, because they are your parents, you can't afford to be in malice with your parent. Even God disagree with that. You can't keep malice with your parent, most especially. In fact, counselors, they always advise that when it gets so tough, the first thing you should do is to, move away.
Distance yourself.
Give a distance. Then, but giving a distance truly do not mean that you are separating completely from your family. No, you can't afford to separate yourself completely from your family. Now, keeping a distance is just to afford you an opportunity to be able to calm your nerves and, reason through the events and try to, you put yourself in others' shoe and try to understand what point are they trying to drive. Most of the time, our angry argument is to drive the fact that we are right as individuals. When there are conflicts, one of the angry wish we've always had is to drive our point to prove that we are actually right and we have to win the argument at all costs. But when it has to do with family, that should not be the case. What we should do while you are keeping your distance, first thing you do is, calm down. Think through the events. What happens? What point are these people trying to drive? What areas have I actually gone wrong? Now, by the time you give yourself, ample time to actually think through all of this, even you yourself, your spirit, God will speak to your spirit and give you some guidelines on how you can actually tackle. But by the time you distance yourself and right in your mind, all you have is just that I beg, let them keep their distance. I don't have any business with anybody. Yes, you can distance yourself. You can feel good. You can find a way of finding peace within yourself. But in the true sense, each time you remember that there is something on ground within you and your family, you can't totally find peace. So, for the purpose of your own mental health, you need to just calm down, think through, and give a listening ear. Try to also consider their point of view to be able to draw your own conclusion. Now, if you have tried everything possible within your power, because you actually want peace now and it's not working, you need to find a counselor. You need to find someone you can talk to, not just someone that these people respect so dearly. Then you table the issue. Your pastor could be a fantastic counselor that can help in such a scenario. Some good elders within the family can also help. So you should find someone you can talk to that will help. But the truth remains that when it has to do with family, you can't keep your distance even for too long. It's not healthy for your own mental self.
Thank you very much, sir, for all that you have said. Our guest, Mr. Dan Dibila, please, a final one. Just give us, let's wrap up this.
All right. My final word regarding conflicts management in families. I will just kindly employ all of us, because however you look at it, we are members of a family, and we should know that we are just an integral part of our society. We are the smallest unit of our society. So the healthy we live, the healthy our community, our society will live. So it doesn't matter what it may cost us. It may cost us dearly, but we should know that finding peace worth whatever cost. So let's be willing to pay the price for peace to reign both in our homes and even in our society. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that.
I don't want to believe that there is a conflict that cannot be resolved. I don't want to believe that. So it doesn't matter how huge or how threatening that issue might be to our life or even to our health. I believe there is a solution somewhere, and that is why we need to deploy all the logics. We need to calm down. We need to look at the case. We need to try to agree. In fact, you don't think you can be right all the time. At some point, you look inward and you will just find that maybe somehow there are things we're supposed to do that you have not done rightly. If we deploy the appropriate measure, there is no conflict on earth that cannot be resolved. So why not find the solution rather than keep your space forever? I think the best is to find the solution, to find the antidote, and we can live in peace just for once. Thank you. I can't not agree that as a member of a family you can keep your space forever. I can't agree with that.
I'm not saying you should keep your space forever. There are solutions to every problem. So the best is to find the solution. It may cost you, but sometimes we are actually not ready to pay the price. The ego is still there. We are not really ready to pay the price. It will cost you something. So let's be willing and be ready to pay the price. I have my family. As I speak to you, I said it the other time, when we look at even husband and wife, in the natural sense, in the godly plan, husband is supposed to be the head of the family, and as the head of the family, you should be able to make some certain decisions.
But sometimes, even you as the man, you are making decisions and things are not working. Won't you drop your ego for the sake of peace? You need to find peace first. Then other things can fall in pleasant places. But if you just stick to your ego and say this must happen, at the end of the day, it may lead to something difficult, something dangerous. If our families are not peaceful, there is no how our society can be peaceful. So, for the sake of not just us alone now, for the sake of our country, for the sake of our society, for the sake of our unborn children, which will raise our own families, they shouldn't come and meet all these disagreements. They will build on it, and it's not going to be healthy for our society. So let's be willing to pay the price so that our society can live in peace. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank you very much.